Okay, so I've been getting a number of messages on how I'm using 0304 Cobra injectors in my 2-valve. Okay, so what I'm going to get into is basically how I'm using them, because these injectors in particular are a little different than your standard like 42-pound injector or something like that, like you would get to run in your turbo car or really in anything. Now, as many of you may or may not know, the difference in the 0304 injector is that they're a split spray pattern, and that's because it's made for a dual valve intake valve engine. And what that is the injector is actually installed in the center of the two intake lines, and then it actually splits off into each intake valve, like so. So as you can see there, the spray pattern is actually split. It's not like a single spray or a single fog. And this is where atomization really needs to come into effect in helping you utilize using these. Now, the number one thing is orientation. As you can see, in relation to the plug, if you had the plug straight on to you like this, the spray pattern is going to be in this direction, just like so, like you saw in the video, or in the picture of that video that I saw. So what I did is I used that kind of to my advantage on these, and I've heard of these used numerous times where people have had no issues, but then I've heard where people have just had nothing but straight problems out of them. So what I did is, knowing that the pattern was split, I tried to utilize the port size and the angling of the head and orientate the injectors in that manner to use the whole port to hopefully atomize the fuel to get it sucked down into the intake before it would wash out the cylinder walls or the intake walls. Now, this is how I have them orientated in here. Literally, if you're looking at the crank, they're at about 45, okay? Just like the coil plugs. Now, the reason I have that set up like that is because now my spray pattern is basically as close to into the intake as possible. But if you look at the actual PI ports on the head, they're more open here. And I'll show you on an intake. Now, this is my Ford Performance intake I have not installed yet. So here would be your injector bosses right here. So your injector would be in here, basically straight down. Underneath here, as you can see, if the injector is actually orientated in this direction, like I have it, your spray pattern is going to be like this. It's going to come through, but it's going to utilize all of this wide open area. Now, if I had turned the other direction, I mean, it may work in this way, but you're going to have a lot more flow here. Yes, you'll wash a little more on this cylinder wall, but I'm utilizing mainly all of this open area. So now your part throttle and your drivability tuning may be semi-erratic. I've not really noticed much of anything. They've actually run pretty well for me, even with using the factory settings for the 0304 injectors in the ProRacer software. But if you do notice that, you know, these may not work out for you. For me, they seem to be doing fine, especially in a boosted application. And just to clarify here, as you can see, I'm doing the same thing on the other side. They're all orientated the same way. Now, under boost or wide open throttle, obviously the forced air in there is going to atomize that fuel and keep it from washing down onto one of the head walls or anything. So you, like I said, you may run into stuff, you may not. They may work for you, they may not. You know, if you're tuning yourself like I am, I'm learning on these, so I figure if I'm going to learn on something, I might as well learn on the hardest thing I can probably tune into this thing. And I've had pretty good success with them so far. And I've not noticed anything super erratic myself. And I've seen where many people have used these before. I mean, if it's advised to use something a little better, you know, some with a single spray pattern, you know, that atomizes a little bit better for your application, then yeah, go for it. But for what I got in these things with the, you know, the little injector plug adapters, I mean, it really kind of comes down to your finances. Do you want to spend the extra? I mean, yeah, they say you shouldn't cheap out on fuel stuff, but these things have been proven by other people, you know? I mean, it just depends. I think it more depends on your tuner and your finances. And also another update on this, I literally have about 100 miles on the setup now. It's making great boost. I actually cranked it up and did a pretty good pull. I'll post that video right here. Now that pull, I let it creep up to about 10 pounds, and I still didn't run out of injector and stuff. So it was still running a little pig rich on me. You can see there in second gear, I kind of grounded a little bit. That kind of sucked. I'm still, working on learning a manual. But yeah, I couldn't be happier with the setup. I truly haven't even really thrown much timing at all at this thing. So I'm still nowhere near the potential of what it could be. But just to give you guys a heads up, that's what I've done to run 03, 04 injectors in here with a split spray pattern. So if you guys want to use them, I say if you can get them dirt cheap, then, try it out. If it doesn't work, then just go with something better, something you trust a little bit more. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.